But what about Iraq? Because I think for a lot of people, especially a lot of younger people, the Iraq War is kind of as far back as they can go. They don't go back to the Cold War or Reagan or World War II. And in fact, a lot of the examples drawn from World War II or from the Cold War don't even resonate with them, right? So they say things like, well, preemptive action is always, unnecessary. No, it's not. If preemptive action had been taken, for example, by Britain while Hitler was engaging in a massive arms buildup, if the British had preemptively built up their own forces, World War II could possibly have been averted. They didn't do it, and the price of it was Hitler thought, okay, well, I've got my way. There's no power in Europe strong enough to stop me, and so time to invade Poland. So this is, in fact, also a lesson of history. One important point about these lessons of history is that these lessons are not definitive. They are ambiguous. It depends on what history you choose to draw on. History is a little bit like the proverbs that you and I learned as a kid. The proverbs are true, but they also contradict each other. Let me give you an example. Look before you leap. That would seem to suggest what? Caution. Be careful. Look before you leap. Well, here's another one. He who hesitates is lost. What does that mean? Take action. Don't wait. He who hesitates is lost. So which is it? Look before you leap, or he who hesitates is lost? And the answer is, it depends. It depends on the new situation as to which of the two proverbs is applicable. And one can make the same point here in dealing with Iran. Is Iran, the situation, the same or even similar to what it was with Iraq? Are the mullahs pretty much in the same vein as Saddam Hussein? Well, first of all, Saddam Hussein was a secular guy. The mullahs, whatever you say about them, are not particularly secular. The second is that Saddam Hussein had local or perhaps regional ambitions. The mullahs are very clear. They have global ambitions, the global caliphate. And in fact, their ambitions aren't even necessarily about Iran. There's a very telling statement by one of the senior Iranian leaders in a speech. He goes, the issue is not Iran. The issue is Islam. Now think about that. Think how interesting this is. Basically what he's saying is if we have to give up Iran, destroy Iran, it doesn't matter because we're fighting for Islam. We're not fighting for Iran. We happen to be in charge of Iran. So think of how dismaying this is for the Iranian people who are attached to Iran. They care about Iran, but the mullahs really don't. For them, Iran is part of a larger scheme. And finally, the information about Saddam having nuclear weapons or aspiring to nuclear weapons, Saddam said he didn't. There was, in fact, no evidence that Saddam had nuclear weapons, so we trusted the US government. This was under the neocon-run Bush administration. And I must admit, a hard lesson was learned there. But the question is that because that was wrong, does it follow that Iran doesn't have these nuclear facilities? Does it follow that the nuclear plants at Natanz and Fordow and all the others, the plans, I mean, I've seen diagrams of these facilities. You can see where they are in the mountain. You can see where all the checkpoints are. You can see where all the tunnels are. You can see where the centrifuges are located. So I think we're dealing here with evidence that is reasonably public, even though precisely how far Iran is from a nuclear weapon. I mean, are they months away? Are they years away? Are they weeks away? Iran itself is now putting out intimations that they already have a bomb, and they might even use it. In which case, I mean, this is coming from the horse's mouth, if I can put it that way. So it seems to me, again, that while we learn from the Iraq analogy, it's not definitive.